You're tuned into Artgoon Radio.
It's the man with the plan. I ain't Clark Kent, so the ladies do call me Superman. It's your boy, Big Cali.
Kelly Kell.
The Rare Artgoon Dream Happening.
It's your boy, Marshall.
And this is Artgoon Radio, man. We're here with another great guest on the show. She is a mayoral, mayoral? How do you say it? A mayoral candidate. She's running for mayor of Moreno Valley coming up in this election. She's came out to Artgoon Radio, wanted to talk to us, man. I appreciate it. So everyone welcome Dr. Mary McBean to the show.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like claps.
Like claps. That was the most professional class we've ever did. Yeah, but how are you doing?
I'm doing great. Thank you for having me. Thank you.
Hey, thank you for coming. How was like this whole pandemic season and running and doing the whole running for mayor during this, time? You can't really go do like town hall meetings like usual, or maybe you've had to adjust to the times.
I have 10 videos, and on my website, I have videos that are going out to all of the Inland Empire. So I've been doing everything online.
Nice. Good. Well, we had a few questions we kind of wanted to ask you about. First is, you're running for mayor in Moreno Valley. First, why Moreno Valley? Like, are you from Moreno Valley?
I live in Moreno Valley.
Oh, you live in Moreno Valley, okay.
I live about 15 minutes from you.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
Where you used to live.
Exactly. And just to give context, my mom and her used to work with each other.
Oh,
so yeah,
nice.
I've known, I've known, I couldn't really remember, but trust me, it's very possible you were in the house. During that time, it was a dark time in my life. It's hard for me to remember a lot of it. So excuse me, I'm like, oh yeah, my mama's friend, exactly. No, I'm sorry about that.
Even before the dark time, we used to hang out on the patio.
Wow, she's at the patio. That's how I know it's real. That's how I know it's real. I hate Reed's looking at me like, yo, he knows. Nah, that's good. That's good though. But no, so like, what made you want to run for mayor? Like,
okay,
let's start that whole thing.
Let's start off. I've been living in Moreno Valley for 23 years.
Nice.
I moved from L.A. to get my son away from the Bloods and the Crips. He was a Blood, and I needed to change the environment. Now he's an educator. He's a teacher.
Wow.
He's been a teacher for the last 20 years.
Wow.
My son went to Fairfax High School, and he played ball, and he went to Notre Dame for his degree in education.
Oh, wow.
So I was trying to find a place for my family, my son, myself, my husband, and as we were moving out of L.A., we kept moving forward, trying to afford it, and it ended up being affordable in Moreno Valley. Mm-hmm. If one of us lost our jobs, my husband or myself, one salary could carry the household. So that was the whole emphasis for moving to Moreno Valley.
Trust me.
Yeah.
The reason why running for mayor is totally different. I moved to Moreno Valley, or we moved to Moreno Valley in 1990. And I saw a different Moreno Valley. Mm-hmm. It was totally different. That was when March Air Force Base was there. Mm-hmm. I'm an educator, I'm a nurse, and I'm a teacher and a college professor. So I've seen things happen that were good, and I've also seen things happen that are bad. And I'm seeing things happen now that are even worse.
Right.
I ran for mayor in 2018. In Moreno Valley, we have 209,000 people. That's our demographic. Wow. Out of that 209,000 people, 57.7% are Hispanics. Only 14.7% are Blacks. 13% is white, and the rest is other. So I'm running to change the leadership in Moreno Valley. My whole city council are Hispanics. Mm-hmm. It shouldn't be that way. They may have the largest demographics, but they don't have the leadership to go with the demographics. My city council, and the leaders of Moreno Valley are taking over the city for their benefit. Mm-hmm. Our city's in a crisis. I want to change the leadership and change the crisis, and I can do that.
So you think it should be more diverse?
Absolutely. Yeah. I'm coming to that. It has to be. What's happening right now is that the Hispanic population, and I'm not disparaging them at all, but they will vote for anybody whose last name is Gutierrez or Sanchez. And that's sad, because if I ask a Hispanic person, male, child, or female, what is your number one priority for the mayor right now or in the future? They cannot answer me. Mm-hmm. They cannot put that into an articulable format to say, this is what I would like to see happen in Moreno Valley. Right now, Chris, as you know, panel, we're being inundated with warehouses. And I'm not disparaging the warehouses because they were supposed to bring jobs. We are a distribution hub in Moreno Valley. That's why we have the warehouses. And every year, the city puts together a 5-year plan for the city. I was a part of the last 5-year plan on my board of the Senior Citizens Advisory Board. The Port of LA and the Port of Long Beach, they're shipping their goods into Moreno Valley, and we are a distribution hub. And so all of the truckers come from all over to get the goods to take them out. I'm saying when I get to be mayor, we need to redo the plan. We need to have an addendum to the plan. I'm not saying don't do it, but I'm saying it be done in a smarter, more manageable way.
Got you.
We have trucks coming from everywhere. If once I get to be mayor, this is my pet peeve. Anyone who serves in government municipally should live in the city where you serve.
Most definitely.
That way you can see all the things, trash piled up, potholes, and sunken holes in the city. You can see lights out. You can see traffic lights not working. You can drive past any place in the city and see where there's an intervention that should take place. But if you don't live there, you can't see the intervention because you're not invested in the city. If you live in a suburban area, 30 to 40 miles outside of the city, when someone calls your office and leave a message about there's a pothole on Alessandro and Frederick, it doesn't ring a bell.
Right.
Because you don't see it and you don't live there.
You had to replace that tire.
Yes.
You had to do that.
Not only the tire, you have to replace under the hood if your car goes into a sinkhole. True. I'm running to change the leadership of the city, and I have ideas to do that would be better than just Gutierrez and Sanchez and any of the other surnames that they just vote because that's part of their history in that ethnic group.
Could you give us a couple ideas?
Absolutely. What's the question?
Just the idea as far as the leadership that you plan on stepping into and changing.
Well, the first thing I like to do is change the structure of our makeup on the city council. Right now, like I said, it's 90% Hispanic. One African American.
Wow.
So what we need to do is reach out to the Hispanic population and say, hey, is your life better 2 years later than it was 2 years ago? Are your children, are they getting a Chromebook when school is out because of COVID-19? Or are they getting a tablet because school is out because of COVID-19? Can you go to the library any day of the week, any time, during library hours to help your child log on? And the answer is no. Our children are not being educated because of COVID. I'm an educator. They need to be educated. And they're going to lag behind because of that gap. The first 4 or 5 things I would do, elected mayor, establish an independent blue ribbon commission to help with Moreno Valley issues, not appointed by the mayor, not appointed by any of the mayor's people. The Blue Ribbon Commission need to be citizens who live within Moreno Valley. They need to send in a resume. They need to apply. We need to know their background. And I'm sure there are competent people out there can do that.
Right.
So that'll be the first thing, a Blue Ribbon Commission, okay? The second thing I would like to do is figure out a way through our budget and through our discretionary funds that we have, because every city has discretionary funds, how we can get our own police force. Our police force comes from Riverside. The Sheriff's Department.
Actually, one of my questions I had for you.
Okay, comes from the Sheriff's Department. We need to have our own police department so there's no lag time when there's an issue when the police arrives. If they do arrive.
I've actually complained about that a lot throughout city council meetings. So, like, I actually considered running for city council this year, but I actually feel like I should learn more about running a city and being part of a program and stuff like that before I go into that field. So that was actually something I've complained about in multiple city council meetings. And
we start off by being on commission boards.
Okay.
Moreno Valley has about 8 different commissions. And I have been a community activist in Moreno Valley, and I started off by being on 5 different commission boards to learn the issues of the city and to go to the city council meetings and to interact with our politicians. That's how you learn. And you hope the mayor will appoint you, but chances are, if you're going to talk against his program, he's not. So we have to change the structure again.
Right.
So the Blue Ribbon Commission, an independent panel that oversees the budget. The budget. We don't know where our money's going.
I'm about to say, who sees it now?
The city council and the mayor.
And they make most of it.
And they make most of it.
So they make the money, then they oversee
well,
it?
we contribute through our taxes and the goods and services, but they control where the money goes. So that's another thing.
I have seen a little bit different changes in the past 3 years, though, I could say, opposed to because I've been living in Moreno Valley since I was in 1988, so since I was 1 year old. But streets being fixed, things actually being done within the past 3 years, opposed to the remainder 27
you think about when we got all those sidewalks. And they did that. That was huge for the community.
Yeah,
because we got a grant. We got a big grant, but that needs to happen all the time.
Yes,
it doesn't need to happen only when we put pressure on the city council. I live in Moreno Valley. My zip code is 92553. Just for instance, if the waste management people come and pick up my trash and they throw my trash can down and bust my cap and my top, I'll get a recycled trash can. Why can't I get a brand new one? In 92555 and 92557, they get new trash cans.
Yeah, we do.
I was about to say, my mom gets a new trash can. I'm like, oh, wait, that's a different zip code.
But why is it depends on the zip code? And the zip code is because they redline us. There's something called redlining and redistricting.
And
we used to have 6 districts. Now we only have 3 or 4.
It's 4 now?
4.
Okay. I know it was 5 not too long ago.
6. We had 6, and they got rid of those. But why did they do that? It's a controlling mechanism. That part of the city council's mandate needs to be separated out. It should come from the people. Because they changed the districts, they can control what happens in the district, especially if your name is Baca or Gutierrez or Gomez or Napolitano, because you got all those votes. You control the agenda for the city council. That shouldn't be. You should be able to put something on the city council because you pay taxes too. You pay taxes too. One of my supporters was on the city council, and when there's an issue that we want to bring up that's disfavorable toward the current regime, they cut off our microphones. That shouldn't be. So I'm trying to change the leadership thought processes so we can say it should be equal. There should be unilateral equalness across the board. There should be transparency in our city government. Wouldn't you agree?
Definitely.
Yeah, okay.
It's a big lack of that.
We need transparency. And with transparency comes accountability.
Right.
Are you responsible for this, that, and the other? And if so, what are you going to do about it? Give me a plan. What's your plan to fix the problem?
I have a question, just because what you were saying just about the majority of the board or the people in government is of Hispanic, all right? Is that just because they're the only ones that's running? And they're the only options, or is there multiple Black people or people of other colors that are going, and they're just ain't getting an opportunity to?
But Chris, the answer to that is two-pronged. A lot of we have less African Americans or other races than we do ethnically in Moreno Valley, so the Hispanics are dominant. In addition to that, we have a donor and we have a developer that backs City Hall.
Yeah, he pays.
He pays for them.
He endorses all of them.
All of them. And he puts money into their races.
Yeah.
This is my second time running. I have to take money out of my pension plan and my savings account to finance my race. I don't get any money because they say, you know that old lady McBean, she's not going to play along with the game. You're damn right I'm not going to play along with the game.
Right.
The game should stop. It should be a new game in town.
Definitely.
It should be game of the people, for the people, by the people.
Right.
It should not be what we have right now.
Yeah.
That is why I'm running. We need to change the leadership. Once we change the leadership, then we have to start educating the people. We have to find out from the people that are out there, what is your position on DACA? If I ask somebody, they'll say to me, Dr. Mack, what is DACA? If I say to you, what is your position on the Dreamers? They'll say to me, what is a Dreamer? But that's what's happening to your race. You can be deported because of who you are. And if you don't know how to save yourself or your family from being deported, then you need to be educated. That's what I do. I educate. I teach. I try to maintain an atmosphere of democratic process. In my classroom, I tell my students all the time, every day you walk into this classroom, you should walk out have learned 6 things. That's how I grew up. Every day I went to school. When I left school, I had to have known 6 things new that I didn't know when I went to school. And that's a marker. And we don't do that anymore. They're rewriting everything. I'm running for mayor to change the leadership. By changing the leadership, you change the structure of delivery of goods and services. And once you change the structure of delivery, then you change how people get the delivered goods.
Yeah.
Right.
Are we on the same page?
Definitely.
Are y'all with me?
I have another question while we're on the subject of and this is a developer. What are your views on the World Logistics Center? Because to me, I feel like they could actually care less about the citizens. I've seen that city council and the mayor have bypassed all types of laws to get past this, and they've bypassed all type of court dates and things where they don't care about necessarily animals. They don't care about the air quality that we'll have in Moreno Valley. And it's supposed to be a 10-year plan, and we've already been seeing them push this back for 10 years to keep trying to develop it. And I think will create a lot of jobs, but it won't create jobs for people in Moreno Valley as most of these warehouses have been made. So
The World Logistics Center, that was something that we as the citizens of Moreno Valley, we bought into because we were not told the truth.
yeah.
That's the main thing, okay? It is supposed to create jobs. It could be a good place for jobs. If I'm elected mayor, the first thing I'll do is sign an executive order, say everybody get paid $15 an hour. If your skill set is higher than that, can go up. It could be commensurate with what you know.
Yeah.
People pay you for what you know. They're not
Serious.
paying you for what's on your paper.
Right.
That may be the catalyst to get you there.
Right.
But they're paying you for your knowledge. Are we on the same page?
Definitely.
So if you have somebody in a warehouse that's making $7.50 an hour, or 8 or 10, they can't support a family. So as elected mayor, I was signing an executive order to day one, all businesses who want to do business in Moreno Valley, everybody has to start off with the basic rate pay of $15 an hour. And that's a living wage. It's not a minimum wage. There's a difference. You with me?
Yeah.
What's the difference? What's the difference?
A living wage is 20 and above, Kelly.
Yeah.
$20 and
Makes
above.
sense.
At
Makes sense.
at the university level, my first big job, I walked in, I was being interviewed by the director of nursing, and she said, "Oh, dear, I'm so sorry. I hate to tell you this, but the most I can offer you is $96.50 an hour." I said, "I won't take that. I won't take that because my education level is higher than that.
Right.
You have to pay me for what I have up here because I'm going to give that to the students." Are you with me?
Yeah.
And so she said, "Well, let me talk to the board and get back." I said, "No, this is non-negotiable. You need to tell me right now. You need to tell me right now."
Right.
And that's what we need to do in our city. The developer, we all know, is
Yeah.
Edito Benzini. Say the name. Say the word.
Yeah.
Just like we say Breonna Taylor, say his name.
Yeah.
Say her name. Say his
Yeah,
name.
Ito's a snake.
We all know that. So the next thing with that,
I'm like, who?
I'm here with you.
his name is
So
Edito.
he's like the big developer that
Yeah.
develops
Yes.
everything.
And he's even going
Yes.
as far as going to El Centro, and he's trying to make a port there now.
Yes.
Damn.
Well, anyway, let me go back
Yeah.
to Edito. Edito has a brother, and the brother's under indictment in Northern California, where I just left. I just flew in. My sister lives up there, and he's under indictment here. It's under the rug. But the first thing I would do as mayor, stop all contracts with Edito. No more.
Yeah.
No more. They're done. We don't want to do business with people who are corrupt. And who have, why is mayor's race being financed? Because he gets what he wants done from Edito.
That makes sense.
Are we on the same page?
Did that have a large reason to why they rezoned the districts as well?
Absolutely, 100%. That was major why they did it.
Yeah,
Because the mayor can control 3 votes. He can do whatever Edito wants.
that makes a lot of sense.
Most of the rezoning was like on the east side of Moreno
Yes.
Valley.
Yeah.
Yes, yes.
All the way to like Hemet, the 71.
And that's
basically.
where that's where they're trying to make the World Logistics Center.
Yeah.
From
like that.
Theodore all
all
the
the way
way
back.
all the way
Right?
back.
And
Yeah.
did you know they
Wow.
they renamed Theodore? It was
Yeah, it's World Logistics.
To
It's the name of-
Logistic now?
Yeah. That's why I was like, how do you know about that? Because I was like, the street is named that, but I didn't even know what it
Yeah.
was.
because he wanted to change. So moving forward, You guys have a lot of questions for me. Are we hitting them? Or
Oh,
what?
you're doing great. No, we're good. Because I was going to ask you even just about, to kind of go piggyback, you're talking about jobs and stuff. But one thing I noticed that in Moreno Valley, a lot of the youth, people that aren't working, like that can't physically get a job, they're too young, like, because there's nothing for them to do right now outside
Chris, since we had that conversation, I did my research.
Okay, talk to me.
Okay, here we go. The first thing I like to do was to have a center for youth, a separate building for 18 to 35. You guys need your own nightclub. I have mine. I go to Woody's.
Hey,
I love Woody's.
I love Woody's.
I've been there for your mom's birthday. That was
my mom was there.
Yeah. So you guys need your own nightclub.
There's nothing.
You need a video center, your own separate freestanding place to go play video games. Number 2. Number 3, you need a swimming pool connected to a community center. I grew up with a swimming pool in a community center. And when we didn't swim, we skated. We need indoor skating rinks here in Moreno Valley. They have them in Riverside. 2 years ago, I tried to get them to bring the swimming pool to Moreno Valley. They said we don't have enough buy-in. That's why we have to educate. That's why we have to get all of the people involved with this race.
Yeah.
If you go on my website, TimberValliansForChange2020.com, you'll see some of the things I'm saying in the videos. But because Chris asked me about this, I did go do some research. A video center, a community center, a swimming pool, a nightclub, and your own indoor skating rink. That would help cut down on some of the boredom. Yeah. And none of these house parties at 2 and 3 o'clock in the morning.
Because that's it. Like I was kind of explaining to you, I was like, if you're under the age of 18 and you want to go out, after anything, there's nothing for you to do after school.
No.
Yeah. Like, unless you you make your own fun. Yeah. And if you're making your own fun, that's when
get into anything.
More stuff happen. That's when we have every gang and hood that we have around.
Your mother, and all of you guys' mother and me, we get up and go to work every day.
Right.
There's something called taxes that we pay.
Yeah.
It's out there. Use our taxes for us. Not use our taxes to build a new Amazon warehouse on the corner of Ironwood and Frederick is coming. Did you hear about it?
Yeah.
They've already started fixing the ground. It's big. I don't even know the logistic size of it yet. I'm trying to get it. But when I started poking around and stuff, they shut me down. But I have other ways of getting my information.
Yes.
I do.
Man, wow. Go ahead.
I do a lot of work with, I have a nonprofit, and I do a lot of work with homeless in Moreno Valley where I go around and I feed them. And I noticed that has been a problem as far as like the homelessness camps that they had. It was a big one on Ironwood and Hemlock.
Yeah.
And they removed them, and now they're more scattered throughout the city. And I don't know exactly what they even built there. It's like I'm not sure. I think they said an industrial park or something like that.
Yes.
But as far as the homeless, what are things that you would do to get them housing possibly, and just to help them out more, because I've realized that it's more and more throughout the city and they're getting younger and younger.
They really are. Well, the first thing you have to do, there's something called a risk assessment. As citizens and as health people or health providers, we need to go and blanket the city with nurses and doctors and technicians to do a risk assessment. I've worked on a risk assessment team. We figure out what is your diagnosis, what is your health, and then we establish health centers in the parks or in different vacant lots that we have. I've been a part of that. And it's free health clinics, health centers. Bring all of these homeless people there Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Do it every day for 6 months on the weekend until we can figure out who's healthy and who's well. We have a lot of abandoned houses in Moreno Valley. Yeah. Why can't we buy those houses from the city for $1? $1, because they're abandoned anyway.
Right.
Go to the city and say, we want to buy these houses, we want to renovate these houses, we want to upgrade these houses for veterans who are in wheelchairs and who are handicapped, and for children who are paralyzed, who have families have children with health needs, special needs. We have hotels in the city. Those can be converted into housing. A lot of the places that we have now, abandoned buildings, abandoned houses, hotels, establishment that's been open and closed, a lot of those can be made into temporary shelters. Yeah. First thing we need to do, though, is figure out their health. because they have a right to be on the street if they want to be.
Yeah.
That's the law. But if we can show them how beneficial it is for them to be off of the street, that would be a start. But the first thing I would do the health assessment, the risk assessment, find some vacant lots, find some vacant homes, find some vacant buildings, and get those people off the street into housing. That would be my plan. That's part of my 5-year plan.
Okay. I have a question. So I've worked in education as well the past 5 years. And what are your plans on school funding, giving kids more opportunities as far as like more avid programs and, even more field trips and, like you said, tablets for themselves to
Chromebooks.
Exactly.
Well, the federal government should be getting money, which we do, for education. Okay, what we need to do is divest, not invest. We need to divest in charter schools because they take money from public schools to fund charter schools. So we need to stop that. That's the first thing we need to do. And the way you stop that is twofold. You pay good teachers to come into bad situations.
Wow.
You start off with pay. Everything is about money. One of my videos is follow the money. If you had a teacher, I'll tell you the other thing that stirred before I was telling you about that $96 an hour. I ended up getting $105.
Okay.
Because she was investing in me as a teacher to teach her nurses so they can go out into the world. We need to invest in our children, our students, and our faculty. And we need to pay the teachers more. The average teacher, if I was in charge, she would start off with $65,000 a year.
There we go.
Per year.
There we go.
You just got it right there.
There we go.
You want to have a job so that when you go to work, you can have child care for your child.
Exactly.
And if you're making a $35,000 or $40,000 a year salary, it ain't going to work. It's not going to work. My son is married to a doctor. You know how much this woman makes a year? And my son and her together, those two combined incomes? I'm trying to get my son to go and to be a union representative, which I was as a nurse. But the first thing you need to do is pay people more. You pay them more. Teaching is a passion. Teaching is a calling.
Yeah.
We don't teach because we want to get rich. We teach because we care about students. We care about their education. Somebody helped me. I have dyslexia. You ask me about a driver, I will be in Nova Scotia trying to come here. I've had the same driver since 2009.
Wow.
So you have to invest in yourself. I know what I can do and I know what I can't do.
Right.
You have to know your limitations and your capabilities.
Definitely.
I'm capable of running the city better.
Yes.
I'm capable of being honest with transparency and accountability and integrity and honesty.
Right.
Those are the things I'm capable of. Once elected mayor, I will surround myself with other competent people who think like I do.
Right.
They have to have integrity and character, and they have to be honest, and they have to be open, and they have to be transparent. But see, that's not going to be a problem because that's who I surround myself with anyway, like his mom.
And that's really, I think that's something that the city lacks in leadership right now is integrity and honesty, because they could care less about being transparent with the people and actually letting them know what's going on and what's happening. Like, I've been in city council meetings and people ask questions and
they don't get answered. And the last, not the last one, maybe two, one before, we should have a 3-minute limit. You cut it down to 1. What can you do in a minute?
Yeah.
Not very much. That needs to change. Moving forward, when I get to be mayor, everybody will have a 5-minute limit. 5 minutes. And I want your questions in advance so that we can review them. The whole council can review them. And we be prepared to answer you honestly with competence, not make it up on the fly as you go along.
Right.
Or don't address it at all, which happens a lot.
Yeah.
That's not accountability.
Right.
So I have a lot of plans and a lot of thoughts, and I'm not radical. I'm just open and honest and passionate about what could be.
Of course.
Moreno Valley used to be beautiful when March was there. Every restaurant you can name was there. Everything.
Kids,
Yeah.
We had multiple movie theaters.
Yeah.
Everything. The Lobster House. Remember the Lobster House?
Yeah, I remember that.
Over on Hemlock?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Moreno Valley definitely has taken a total turn. Like, 'cause I've been here just like Reem since I was born, and probably around the time we got to high school, things just started to go spiral down.
It's probably been like that before, but we just didn't know.
You're oblivious.
It wasn't that bad. It really wasn't. I used to be able to shop, and I worked 7P, 7A, and I would see businesses open in the morning when I'm getting off shift. There's nothing open other than fast food restaurants.
So when did you see it take a turn?
After March left. That was when the bitter hit.
So what year was that?
I don't remember.
Okay. Because I have a friend that worked in the Air Force, and he works at March Air Force Base, but I don't know the openness or whatever it is. I don't know when it closed.
We had so many prospering business. We moved to Moreno Valley before the mall was even there. So that's how long ago. So I've seen it grow, and I've seen it dip. Now it's time to grow again.
Yeah, because only like half of the mall is open.
Yeah.
It's crazy. They'd rather industrialize the city than actually build it and make it a better place for its citizens to live.
But when you're being funded, it's called nepotism and kickbacks and cronyism and payoffs. You're going to do where that dollar comes to you so that you can get yours.
Oh, yeah, I watch House of Cards. I know exactly how this goes. I know exactly what goes down. I had a question. With just everything going on with, of course, the George Floyd situation, the Breonna Taylor situation in those prospective cities, and just recently, with Jacob Blake, that happening. The mayors of those particular cities all handled things differently, and the whole America scrutinized them and getting, basically said, you didn't do this right, you could have did this. You just wanted to ask you and your character for what you want. If you were mayor in those particular situations, what would you have done differently than maybe those mayors?
I want to digress just a minute.
Go ahead. Yeah.
I'm from the South. I'm from Mississippi, the poorest state of all 50 states. I was out there before any of you guys was born. I grew up in a city where I could not vote because I was African American. We could not walk on certain streets because we were African Americans. We could not go into certain buildings or restaurants or hotels because we were African American. Are you with me?
Yeah.
The only thing the first thing, and one of the things we need to do is educate our people. Our people need to be educated. I can't say what I would have done differently for each mayor because the situation presented the facts on the ground as they were happening. And so these mayors in these cities, but remember, he always said, those Democratic mayors, they're not doing their job.
He loves saying that.
But you have to look at how the situations are unfolding. You can walk down the street with a long gun and kill 3 people, and you can get water, and you raise your hands up, and nothing happens to you.
Yeah.
But you can also walk around your car, and you get shot in the back 7 times.
Right.
So we have to deal with the issues as they occur.
Yeah.
And we have to weed out, and I'm saying it, I'm calling it out, structural racism and unjust behavior for all of us.
Right.
I grew up in a structural racist society. I grew up with Jim Crow.
Right.
I was there when I had to go to the back door to get food. I couldn't even go to the library because I was Black. And when I was moved out here, I went to Cal Baptist for my master's in education. And when I walked up the steps to go into the library, I started to cry.
Wow.
Because there was a change. There's a change. Are you with me?
Wow.
The more changes we make, the more beneficial it is to all of us. We don't want to be the person that's benefiting the most. That's only one person.
Right.
That's not the way it should be.
Yeah.
Right. Well, I know a lot of people are calling for the defunding of police too, especially in those prospective cities. How do you feel about the defunding of police? Are you for it, not, or do you feel like that's what's needed right now?
First of all, we have to educate the people. Defunding the police does not mean take away the funds from the police, all of the funds. Defunding the police means to take some of the funds away, some, because they have high pockets and powerful unions. I'm a union girl.
Yeah.
Take some of those funds away and help build that community center, help build that skating rink, help build the, the swimming pools.
Yeah, swimming
so
pools,
do some of those things so that young people will have somewhere to go.
Right.
That's my belief with the police. But I still don't believe they need all the money they can get.
Right.
You know why? My pet peeve is qualified immunity. You guys know what that is?
No.
Qualified immunity, and part of that structured pot that they have for money is that a police officer can't be tried and convicted and go to prison because he's working through the police department. They have been exempt from being held accountable. That's why none of them go to jail. because they have something that covers them that's called qualified immunity. I want it gone. It will be gone. As mayor, one thing I would have done in one of those cities was to get rid of qualified immunity. Are you with me?
Right.
If you notice, 90% of the shootings that we've watched, none of the officers went to jail.
No.
And everything was justified. Just recently, I was reading on one of my blogs where the new shooting, where they shot him in the back, they said, where he committed sexual assault. What did that have to do with you shoot him in the back 7 times?
Yeah, they didn't even do a background check before they shot him. They had no idea about that.
But they was trying to propagate what they want us to know. That's fake news. That's what Trump says all the time.
Yep.
They're trying to dirty up him so that we can see him as in a bad light. Are you with me?
Yeah.
So qualified immunity is part of what's inside of defund the police.
Right.
Are you with me? Makes sense? If we can get rid of qualified immunity, cops can be held to the same standards that we are if we do something wrong. Right now, they're not.
Yeah, they're not. They can do basically what they want, when they want, how they want, and we were kind of talking about that in the segment before. It's like, being black right now is more dangerous than a white dude with an AR-15. Just walking around as a black man with nothing.
Just having killed 2 people and wounded 2 more.
Yeah.
And what did they do? They waved him on and gave him some water.
Yeah.
But that same young boy, Blake, he walks around his car, he pulls on his shirt, he shoots him 5 times in the back. 2 separate justice systems in this country.
Sure.
That needs to change.
For sure.
That needs to change.
Man, I know we've been talking a lot. I know we have a lot of questions too. Before we get out, it's like 2 more things I wanted to touch on, because I know this is a very pro-cannabis podcast.
Everybody's asking me that.
Yeah. So how do you feel?
The answer is yes. I probably smoke more pot than any of you guys.
That's a very big statement to say. Maybe another podcast I could have been, but this one, I don't know. That's what you. But how do you feel about the legalization of cannabis?
I think it should be done. I really think it should be done. When I was a young teenager, I used to hang out in Haight-Ashbury. I was a hippie. I used to drive a Harley, me and my brothers. I grew up with 6 boys, and so I was one of the boys. So legalize cannabis for medical and for recreational use. Yes, I'm all for it.
And what about like storefronts? Are you thinking about bringing those back to Moreno Valley? Because I know for a long time we had dispensaries and we did have those, but then they passed that law, like, I guess nobody could be out there, you can't do it. But then now it's like the biggest dispensaries are popping up out of nowhere.
Well, they have laws, and we have to follow the laws. And you have to send in an application, and you have to be approved. I just went to a cannabis store at Ironwood and Frederick, the Stater Brothers. Stater Brothers. And it's pretty darn nice.
Yeah, it's very nice.
Yeah.
Very nice. If we can have those. And the reason why I would support the law is because they cannot put their money in the bank. You guys know that, right?
Yeah, we know that, yeah.
We want them to put their money in the bank. We want them to be young entrepreneurs making money. Why can't we have a pot Zuckerberg? A cannabis Zuckerberg?
True.
Why do we just have to have one Mark Zuckerberg? We can have several. But if they can grow their wealth, making wealth, then it should be beneficial for the city because, we'll get some of that revenue as well.
Definitely.
And that can go back to some of the programs we talked about.
I'm about to say the tax revenue alone on that will build a community center.
Yes.
Are they making it like really hard for you to apply and get approved?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
And I think Riverside County has the highest application fees out of like most of the United States.
Why though? Why in somewhere like Riverside where
because
like,
the
it's
land
not as
is
many people?
lower cost and it's still in a good area in California.
But I think we have 32 though. We have 32 sites right now in Moreno Valley. The last time I heard.
Wow.
But we're doing good. But the one that we have over on Ironwood and Fredericks, if we can have more of those, it could be better. We don't want little shops springing up everywhere.
We don't either.
We really don't. Because you don't know what you're getting. I feel good when I go get my cream for my knees. I have arthritis.
Yeah.
Right.
I have to walk with a cane. And if we could do that, it could be beneficial for the city as well as the entrepreneurs and as well as the government. Say it again.
Really would.
Yeah.
He said really would.
It really would.
Yeah, it really would.
I have a question about just creatives in general. Moreno Valley is a hub for all of creatives. I feel like in Southern California, not just in our area. What would you do for creatively, past like the centers and the swimming and the other things, like things that you can implement within schools and things like that. Because
That's
there's
right down my wheelhouse.
there's a lot of rappers. There's a lot of clothing lines coming up. There's a lot of people that are just in general like creative. I say that there's out of the mountain, there's like some type of crazy good energy geology that comes out of it that inspires a lot of people that be creative out of our particular area. So what would you intend to do to keep that flowing or keep it flowing more than it is right now?
What I like to do is get all the people, all the stakeholders to the table. Ask them what they want to do. Ask them, like these mirrors I'm seeing popping up. Those are beautiful. Why can't we have more of that? Young girls are designing things online and selling it online. Why can't we get one of those abandoned warehouse buildings to give her a place? Why can't we have a design center in Moreno Valley? The closest design center is in LA on the opposite side of LA. You have to travel 2 hours to go to a place. There's a lot of things we could do. I would hold a town hall meeting and I would call for innovative ideas from all the young entrepreneurs who want to get into the game. Come with your portfolio. Come with your thought processes. Put something on the table, and let's work together as a team to create something, because other cities do it. When I lived in New York, I would go to the garment district just to walk around and look.
Right.
Because it was so
many
new to me.
opportunities.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because it's so new to me.
Definitely.
That's tight, man. Last question before we get out of here. I know a lot of people are going to listen to this podcast and be like, oh, man, she sounds great. It sounds cool, but I don't want to vote. It don't really, it don't matter. Like, voting doesn't matter. My vote, I'm just going to do it. And it's already, the fix is in. Like, they already know who they're going to be. Why is voting important to, as you saying it, not only to vote for you, of course, but why is voting in general important to you?
Voting is a fundamental right. So many people have died so that we could vote.
Right.
This is a democracy. Other countries don't have democracies. They have dictatorships or they have authoritarianism. We have an opportunity to change our state, change our city, change our country, and change our world. We used to be the leading country in America that was for equal rights, civil rights. We didn't always do it, but we were for it. And for other countries as well. We vote so that our vote is our voice.
Right.
When I was in high school, before I graduated from high school, they came around, because you remember the 3 civil rights workers, they died in Mississippi. You know that, right? Those 3 civil rights workers. They registered us to vote when we were 17 and a half years old, so that by the time we finished high school, we would be 18 and you should vote. I have been voting every year since I've been high school, and I'm 73.
Wow.
So voting is your voice. And just to give you historical context, 45 won Pennsylvania by 2 freaking votes. 2.
Wow.
That's messed up. Are we on the same page?
Yeah.
If somebody who said my vote don't count, if somebody said the fix is in, if those 2 people would have voted, he wouldn't have won Pennsylvania.
Dang.
So voting is a right. And people die every day to vote.
I remember my father used to tell me, stories about voting, and like I used to be like, I don't really want to do it. Like, it's okay. He used to be like, well, like in Louisiana, he used to tell stories about his grandmother and like them literally going out protesting, fight just to vote. That's all they want to do is vote so they can get a new police chief. Because the police chief they had was
super racist,
allowing the cops to just beat the hell out of them and do whatever they want. So he was like, all right, well, they want to vote. And they understood it then because it was such excruciating situations. And I guess now maybe in our times, we're seeing it. It's like, hey, man, like, yes, I guess the presidential thing is that's where it's like, oh, well, I can only vote for the president. If the president I wanted to vote, it didn't work. But I'm like, you can vote for your mayor. You can vote your city council, stuff that you can literally,
that affects you day to day.
And school board.
Right.
When I was a young girl, my father would take us out with him. He was a community activist, and that's where I got mine from. When you grow up in a city, when you have no rights, you can't do anything. We had terrible books. We didn't have proper lab equipment. The police would come through our communities and just pick up people. They would disappear. We would have hangings, and we would have men being beat to death and kids just disappearing. I saw my first murder trial. I was 9. It was one of the kids on my block. He was accused of rape.
Wow.
At 9. Are we on the same page?
Yeah.
I saw the dogs. I saw the police beating people. I saw that with these 2 eyes. We don't live like that anymore, but we still need change.
Right.
And voting is your opportunity for change. Your vote counts. Every vote counts. I've been called the N-word more times than I can shake a stick at. But you don't stop moving forward.
Right.
You let that person be ignorant and you educate yourself. No one could have ever told me when I was growing up in Mississippi that I would be Dr. Mack. They didn't tell me that. But my parents did. My parents would say to me, baby girl, you can do whatever you want to do once you put the mind to it. Now, 73 years later, I have an associate, a bachelor's, 4 masters, a doctorate, and an education certificate. That's because of change. Are we on the same page?
Yeah, we are.
We have to educate the public as to what's coming down the pipe. So they'll be ready.
That's true.
Structural changes.
Wow. Man, well, Dr. Mary, that was
real.
That was real. I appreciate it.
Are we done?
Do you guys have anything else you guys want to, before we get up out of here?
No, I don't have any.
I'm about to say, I asked all my questions. We got
Yeah, we got down the list.
That was the one real question that I had, because we are the hub of creative energy in Moreno Valley, us right here. Everybody that you see right here and people extended. So we just want to know like how, more younger people can feel like, they don't just have to work at a warehouse at Amazon.
No, they don't.
Yeah.
There's more stuff coming.
It's more stuff, but we have to create the stuff.
Right.
Exactly.
We have to have created minds to create the stuff. Thank you guys
And
for
it starts
having
with
me.
the vote.
Thank you.
Oh,
So
yeah,
where
thank you
can-
for being here and
Yeah.
educating us about
Did you
what's going on
Did
in
we
the
do
city.
it?
Oh yeah, we knocked out everything.
Yeah, pretty much.
Is there tell the people where they can your website.
I'm Dr. Mary McBean, and my students gave me the nickname of Mack. I like that. so they call me Dr. Mack, and I really embrace Dr. Mack. My website is movaliansforchange2020.com. Go to www.movaliansforchange2020.com. Click onto my site and my Facebook page, and all of the things that we just talked about. I have different videos outlining those same programs.
Nice.
Are you with me?
Yes.
Definitely.
Thank you
Well,
guys
we're
for
definitely
having
going to
me.
be out in the
Thank you for
polls,
coming.
and we appreciate you for coming and speaking to our peoples. And they're going to go on your website, and trust me, I believe you. I hear what you're saying. I like what you I like what you have to say.
Thank
and
you.
I appreciate you taking the time and explaining
I'm
everything.
so
to
happy
us.
you guys invited.
Yes.
I last time when I ran before, I went to a radio station in Redlands, and the young kid name was Nappy.
Oh yeah, that's the
That's our
homie.
friend.
Yeah, that's the homie.
He did me before.
Oh really?
Well, I'm in
It's a
good
small
company.
world.
I'm in
Yeah,
good
that's
company.
a
You guys
small
know
world.
Nappy?
Yeah.
Yes,
okay.
yes,
That's a good friend of
definitely.
ours.
IE Radio, yeah, definitely.
Yes,
Yeah, I
that's
know
one.
exactly what you're talking about.
Okay,
yes.
well, we're good.
All right.
Thank you.
For this podcast for this podcast, go to bigcaliworld.com. Subscribe, please. Please subscribe.
Sponsors.
We need a sponsor. We need sponsorships. Go ahead and hit us
Please.
up. Let us know.
Please.
Also, we have a new thing we're doing. We're gonna start doing is for all people that want to support Artgoon Radio. People hit me up all the time like, "Hey, I love what y'all doing. I want to support. I want to, show my allegiance to this." You can go to anchor.fm/Artgoon Radio/support. Again, that's anchor.fm/Artgoon Radio/support. Pledge. Do it monthly. So what's up? We're gonna start doing some special giveaways, special exclusives, just for the people who are pledging. We're still working that out, and we're gonna have some more stuff going on.
Are you trying to pressure me into giving some giveaways, or was that?
Oh yeah, we're gonna. I haven't all the way talked to you about it yet.
That sound like a little side.
Oh yeah,
we got some
I'm
new
like, yo,
stuff.
Reem, I need you to come up with an exclusive
Alright,
shirt just for the supporters.
I got it, baby. What's
Cool.
up?
See, that's why, big bro. That's what I'm
Yeah.
talking about. All right, but anyway, also for all your podcast needs, if you're trying to start a podcast and do it yourself, go to productiveculture.com / podcast and how did you hear about us section and put in Big Cali World or Artgoon Radio, and then definitely that will help you out and get you your stuff. All right, and get you all squared away and give you that special discount. the special new releases of UTV
It's
license?
not too much left, man. It's like
already
there's
sold out?
There's some stragglers. I don't think there's no more pants left at all.
Damn.
Mm-hmm.
How many do you have?
Like 18.
Oh, okay. It's just like exclusive.
Yeah.
Thank you for being here.
Thank
I
you.
appreciate that
Thank
so
you,
much.
Dr. Mack. I appreciate you.
Yep.
Yeah, man, but we're going to get up out of here too, though.
There's a little bit of stuff left. That's utblifestyle.store. If you want to purchase something that's still on there, if you see it, it's still there. If you don't, yo bad. That's the way it is, man.
I love it, man. But yeah, man, I think this has been a good episode, man. Definitely. We got a lot out, and definitely go to the polls and vote.
Definitely.
Which is the main thing, man. All right.
Yep.
So, yeah, it's the man with the plan. I ain't Clark Kent, but some ladies do call me Superman. It's your boy, Big Cali.
Kelly Kev signing out.
It's the rare Artgoon. It's two-step shorty. It's the big dog. He's in here. Let's go, Big C. Get that fucking bark right, nigga. That fucking leash on that nigga. God damn it.
Your boy Marathon Mo.
Artgoon Radio, man. Peace.
Peace.